You know, reviewing the Kingdom Maximals has kind of put me in a bit of a beastly mood. I could do the Kingdom Predacons, but until Inferno and Tarantulas show up later on in Legacy, they'll be down 2 bots. So why not take a detailed look at the Generations incarnation of the OG Predacons? Hail to the king, baby. As you can tell, the G1 Beast bots had a little bit more junk in the trunk than their Beast Wars equivalents. I'm not mad at it though. He is a robot line rather than an organic line, so it makes sense. I can dig him though. He's mostly molded in solid color plastic, save for a little bit of gold in this glorious mane. Speaking of that head sculpt, it is quite glorious, isn't it? He can even open and close his mouth. Posability isn't anything to write home about. He can move his legs a little bit, and you can open his jaws, I mentioned before, but the only way you're moving his head is if you unclip it, and that doesn't look right at all, and you can just see his little robot head under there. No thank you. His transformation is a bite-sized treat. Nothing unexpected, but everything clips into place satisfyingly and fills out the hollow parts that could result in his robot mode. Very nice. I like his robot mode too. He might be a bit on the lumpy and bumpy side, but his thick limbs and torso and that hefty plastic lend him a real menacing aura. His head's charming, but a bit on the featureless side. Gotta love that lion head chest. That is classic giant robot stuff right there. No complaints about his posing. He's got it all save a waist swivel, which is for a very good reason that will be revealed later. Look at the size of that cannon. I don't think Megatron sent him to negotiate. Whoa, check out Big Bird here. Of all the beast modes, his is by far the least proportionate. Birds are not usually this immense, but he might also be my favorite for that very reason. He's just very fun to handle. His wingspan can only be described as glorious. That wing section is a problem though. It's pretty clear it's not actually attached anywhere to his body and it's just kind of a feathery jetpack. He actually looks better standing up, and he has all the joints to facilitate that as well. So nice going. He's supposed to be Voyager size, but come on, this is an immense Voyager. Shame you can't open his beak though. Hello! His transformation feels like it's probably barely different from the G1 guy. You just fold his arms and legs out and flip up his head. He's a little bit weedy in robot mode. The mass that those arms lent to his chest is just desperately missed in this form. Speaking of chest, that included breast crest feels a little bit bare without the Decepticon sticker, but you know how I feel about stickers. He's not terrible though. He's posable, he's fun, he's very heavy. His guns are horrible though. They're really long and thin and don't even fit in his hands. Still, I absolutely can't hate on him. He took a hit for the sake of the team. You'll see what I mean later. Oh, another pretty kitty. He's a little bit more sleek than Razorclaw, but not by a whole lot. His posability's not great. He's kind of a brick. You can move his front legs okay, and he can roar acceptably well, but his back legs are kind of fused into place, so he's a little bit more monochromatic than I usually like. I wish this orange stood out a little bit more from the dark red. Still, I can't hate this guy though. He even has a tail, albeit a highly suspect one. His transformation is a lot more complicated than Dive Bomb, and his robot mode looks a lot better as a result. He's rocking the same lion head crest, well tiger head crest in this case, except it's looking down instead of facing forward. The more visible gold in this mode gives him a lot more visual appeal than in the beast mode, and I dig that underarm mechanical detail. His arms are a little stumpy and his head's a little generic, but nothing worth complaining about. He poses good, even got a waist swivel this time around, and ankle tilts. You can also get some nice arm movement out of the transformation joint up here, and his knees and legs are some lovely clicky ratchet joints. He does have this going on though. Not even an attempt was made to make this part of the robot mode, but he made a sacrifice here for the sake of the team. Once again, you'll see soon. I'm doing a 2-for-1 with these guys because besides a few aesthetic differences, they're pretty much identical. Tantrum is the bull and Headstrong the rhino, and what a hefty pair they make. I think I could do curls with Tantrum is the bull and Headstrong the rhino, and what a hefty pair they make. I think I could do curls with these guys. What's the purpose of that weird strange pillar that's growing underneath them? The posability is nothing special, and what little they do have is pretty much blocked by this giant underside slab, so they're pretty much 2 massive bricks. These guys are bringing the heavy heat with these massive shoulder-mounted cannons. You might have noticed them on the back in beast mode. Usually I leave that kind of stuff to the side, but these guys just look kind of naked without their big back cannons, even in beast mode. Posing is fine, but you have to untap this massive kibble pillar to get any waist swivel. At least you can use these things as holding handles, and if you untab them, I guess you could play the world's least interactive game of Rock'em Sock'em Robots. These guys' head sculpts are pretty much exactly the same, which makes me think they're like a pair of robot brothers or something. Well, I think there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event. This is it. The big surprise I was teasing the whole video. Honestly, go ahead. Tell me it wasn't worth the wait. You and I both know you'd be lying. What your sorry eyes perceive are none other than the power of the Prime's Titan class Predaking. He is something special. The individual bots that make up this beastly conglomerate all had to make their own sacrifices to make this work. Weird kibble, awkward beast modes, guns that don't fit in their hand. But they made the right choice. I own my fair share of combiners, but I can honestly say none of them are as full-featured, posable, and just all-around awesome as Predaking here. I thank the Predacons for their service. No, I salute them. Color-wise, he's a lot more cohesive than Transformers combiners typically are. At least most of them, anyway. The orange, black, yellows, they all complement each other beautifully and make him a very attractive juggernaut. Check out that helmeted head. Those antennae are a real G1 combiner trademark. His feet and fists are mighty. Kind of missed an opportunity by not giving him individually jointed fingers, but come on, he already does so much. The only real flaws I can think of, and these are small flaws, are the fact that he doesn't come with this incredibly cool sword that the cartoon character used, and the fact that his waist kind of looks like he's been corseting or something. Most combiners are a little bit awkward to pose. At best, they're usually functional, but this guy is up to it. His rock-solid combination means all the pieces stay completely in place, and his buttery smooth ratchet joints are just a thing of beauty. He's even got ankle tilts. There are a lot of normal bots that don't get ankle tilts. While he doesn't have his big awesome sword, he does have this really cool forearm cannon. It gives me serious Megatron vibes. His joints are even strong enough to let him menace Autobot Titans with it. If that was really all this set had to offer, it would already be a must-buy. But he has one more trick up his sleeve. Flip up that lion head, which is honestly a little bit harder than I'd like, and check out this matrix of beastership. And its core is a little guy. Not just any little guy, this is Onyx Prime, one of the legendary 13 Primes. The first Transformers, and the ones that lent the other Transformers all their abilities. Onyx Prime here is the guy that gave them all beast mode, so it makes total sense for him to come with Predaking. Admittedly, it was kind of a weird choice to make the 13 most important mythological figures in Transformers these tiny little fellows, but at least swapping them around and giving the other robots pretend powers is lots of fun. It's a shame they couldn't interact with the Voyagers and Deluxes in a way that was even remotely convincing, though. Seriously, what is this? Carrying around one of the 13s in a baby Bjorn, or as a footsie filler? Well, at least they make cool Matrix cores. Power of the Primes had some serious lowlights and was one of the most uneven toy lines that's been around since I've started collecting. But I can't hate on it because it gave me one of the best combiners I own, and I own a lot of combiners. In fact, this is my first combiner review ever on this channel, and I'm glad it was Predaking. Fraz out.